When you're a guy and you make money, you want to put and invest your money in your offspring, not in other people's offspring.
Yeah, but
That's just the natural way of the world. That's how things go. Men typically want to take care of their own children. Now,
what if she's a millionaire and
there-
she helps and builds an empire with that man?
okay, well, even better. If you're a millionaire, you're going to probably want a guy that's a millionaire too, right?
Exactly, but
Okay.
who said anything about a broke guy?
Yeah, but okay,
talking-
good. So, what do millionaires have that are men?
But my thing is, like,
Hold on, answer the question. What do men have that are millionaires? Options, which means they can date girls that aren't millionaires and be happy. You, on the other hand, can't date a broke guy and be happy. So they can get a girl that's 21, that isn't a millionaire, that doesn't have children, that can give him a family, and he won't have to take on someone else's kids.
The biggest issue that a guy can face while dating a single mother is knowing that she has had a rough past, made horrible decisions, and might repeat all of that again. It goes without saying that you need to consider a person's history and previous choices before you commit to them. But with the help of social media, we're all able to see what single mothers are all about today. And that's why men are saying no to single mothers, among 100 other things.
All right, y'all. So here's the deal. I'm about to share the uncomfortable truth about dating a single mom. Now, I've seen it all over the internet, and I decided as a single mother, let me just be honest. Let's get into it, family. Telling on myself, but it's all good. Number one, you will have less availability. Can't be too flexible with the scheduling. It is what it is. Number two, there will be more expectation. When a child is involved, you are dating intentionally, you're gonna be looking for more. Because it's not just about you, it's about your babies too. Number three, this goes along with the last one, more picky or pickier. Not sure which one is grammatically correct. Number four, more intentional. There will be less games being played. Can't speak in extreme, but I would assume most women that have children are gonna be way more intentional. Number five, the potential of more responsibility. Goes well, you'll be a stepdad. So it does come with more. Number six, the potential of more baggage. Number seven, may be way more mature to the increase of responsibility of caring for a child.
Depending on the situation, the judgments they made in the past are a good indicator of the decisions they will make in the future, along with the quality of those decisions. So it's acceptable if the lady was married to a man who served in the military. It wasn't her fault. She didn't choose poorly. But if she just slept with the wrong sort of man and is now a single mother, do you really want to be associated with someone who has shown such terrible judgment? Would you be shocked if they continued to show such poor judgment in future situations? So let the past and present actions of a person offer you some idea of what they may do in the future.
I'm going to be aggressive because nobody wants to hear this, because what you want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. It was never meant to happen for the human race, number one. Number two, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother, what do you think it is? This is going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer. Whether they have a supportive partner. The major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? Because it's like a direct chain is what we see. What you see is that if you've got a father figure, basically, who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children. But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, is what happens. And then the kids get starved. And we're not actually supposed to be living in a single-family household, so it's supposed to be a lot more support towards mom than just dad. But I'm going with standard societal structure. You are a victim of a society that was never meant to work this way.
Nothing could be worse for a kid than for the mother to divorce the husband and fail to provide a nurturing, secure, and safe home for the child. At the most fundamental level, they have already failed.
I have the utmost respect for all females, but this is a male advisory channel. Gentlemen, I would not advise you to marry a single mother. Here are the 8 disadvantages of marrying a single mother. 1, you can never discipline that child. It's not good. 2, if the mother leaves, that's it. You have no hold over the child at all. Even though you had an emotional bond with that child, doesn't matter. If the mother is pissed off at you, she will use that against you. 3, your resources goes into another man's DNA. 4, if it's a girl, huge problem. All it takes is female teenage rage for her to accuse you of any sexual act. The mother will never ever forgive you over her child, and the relationship will never be the same again. 5, there will never be spontaneous sex. 6, you will always need a babysitter. 7, you will always be in a relationship with the father of the child as well. You will never have time to build a relationship with the mother alone. Relationships are hard enough as it is. You shouldn't have a third person involved. And 8, and you will never ever ever come first.
One of the lessons I've learned in life is that character is what will ultimately shine through, so you must carefully consider that. Therefore, it doesn't matter what they're actually saying or what they have. What matters is that these things show them for what they are, and that's what you're dealing with. Your starting point is that. It goes beyond mere intention since we can determine your intention from the outcomes. But this isn't set in stone, since we must take into account both our own circumstances and those around us. Therefore, if a lady with children decides to leave a guy who is at war and has children, perhaps then she did a reasonable thing because she's looking out for her future and her children's future. But if she just left because she found the neighbor to be very attractive, then that's just something that's going to predict her future behavior as well.
You're saying that you wouldn't be with a single mother that's a millionaire?
It wouldn't be my first option, no.
You said a millionaire wouldn't want to be with a single mother that's a millionaire.
If he can go ahead and get a girl that doesn't have a child, he'll prefer that, yes. Men are very different than women because when a guy comes into a woman's relationship or a relationship with a woman and she has a child, he's going to be expected to take care of that child to a degree. You don't just get with that girl, you get with that girl and that child. And here's the other thing you got to remember. If we break up and I build a bond with that child, I now lose you and the child. And I can't have any type of parental rights to that child because it's your biological child, not mine. I'm a stepfather. So I lose you, the child, alimony, house, 50%. So it's an L for me. It's not worth the risk.
So clearly this woman is really upset with what I would just call the reality of being a single mother. Men are allowed to have preferences. A lot of men would prefer to not date a single mother. That doesn't mean that single mothers don't get remarried and that stepfathers don't exist, because they do, but it shouldn't be a shock that that's not going to be for every guy.
So if you come across a single mom who's had a history of running away with good-looking younger men or men with more resources, then you know enough to not date that woman and stay away from her because she's going to end up doing the same thing to you. She's going to seduce you, make you like her and want her, and then ask you to commit to her in a long-term relationship. And if by any chance you end up marrying her, then you have my sympathies because you're going to get roasted. She's going to make sure she empties your savings, make you move to her hometown, and buy her and her children all the things she wants. And when she sees that you're trying to hold back, she's going to file for divorce. And we all know who's going to be the winner in that case, and who's going to end up losing their hard-earned money.
I let them know up front, I got kids. You can either deal with it or not. You can either come through the door or lock it on your way back out.
Okay, and
Simple
my
as
answer
that.
to that is most guys are not going to. That's the man you described
To your
hold on,
opinion, a
hold
lot of
on.
women won't.
It's not. I need you to be objective here.
Mhm.
What I'm telling you is the man that you described is extremely rare. If you
Yeah.
can go ahead and get a younger woman that doesn't have children and doesn't have these things kind of that would potentially weigh him down and hurt his ability to earn money and or save money, he's probably going to go with that. And then also, interestingly enough, when
But
we
he'll
asked you
be
about
miserable.
when we asked you about the Instagram, you said that you and your partner are 50-50.
Mhm.
Well, the reality is you didn't describe a man that's 50-50. You described a man that's superior to you in almost every which way.
Money doesn't mean anything in social media.
But you were saying that you guys are equal and he should be doing the same thing that you do. And my argument is that how can you expect that when he's the leader in the relationship? You described the guy who's
First of all,
very rare on
nobody's going to
paper.
be a leader. It's a 50-50 relationship.
Oh, so
We
you expect
both
this man
alphas.
to make this money, be tall, both of you be alphas, be in a relationship with you, and you guys are both going to just rule together?
Remember, women are not looking at relationships from a theoretical single mother point of view. They're looking at it from the getting their next month's bills paid point of view. So that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a single mother. You're dealing with someone who has no ability to look into the future and who has no ability to discipline themselves in the present. Almost every single mother you come across will have this issue. When you see her past relationships, and especially the relationship where she has her children, you'll realize that before making her decisions, she never really gave the future that much thought. And I'm not painting all single mothers under a single brush here. No. I completely understand that sometimes women have absolutely no choice but to leave their husbands when they become abusive, don't give them any sort of attention at all, or become addicted to drugs, alcohol, or gambling. I mean, in those scenarios, single mothers have no option, and the best thing they can do is to get out of those relationships. But if a woman who has children creates issues out of nowhere, does not respect her husband who provides for her and the children, who take care of their needs and pays for their lifestyle, if such a woman chooses to leave that man because she just got bored with the monotony or found another man who gave her a bit more attention, then I'm sorry, but that woman really didn't have any foresight, especially if she is not employed, has her own business, or is financially settled enough to know that she can take care of herself and her children in the future. If a woman is completely financially dependent on the man and her husband is a good man who provides for her by working hard day and night. And at the end of it, if she starts complaining that he doesn't give her the attention he used to give her, without realizing that he's only doing it for the whole family's financial future, if that woman chooses to go with another man, then she's again really blind to what the consequences will be for her in the future. She's used to having all her bills paid. She's used to buying food and groceries with her husband's income. She's used to taking trips financed by her husband's income and buying clothes for the children and herself. Then she just hasn't thought through the whole thing if she decides to leave him. And I see it too often around me. Good men are being left by their women because they get bored with the same routine or want some adventures with younger men. These women end up divorced and stay single, desperately trying to finance a certain standard of living that they were used to having, paid for by their men. Although there are circumstances where women have no choice other than to leave abusive husbands, there are many women who leave good men just because they're not content with themselves, and they completely ignore the needs of their children. So then they're out on the hunt to find a suitable man who will basically finance the rest of her life. And that man, guys, is someone you don't ever want to be. Listen, the top concern for a single mother will always be to look after and care for the child or children. To put it another way, you can never expect to be anything other than second choice, at most. Why marry someone where you're not a priority, be default? Unless you find pleasure in that in some twisted way. In my opinion, you already know what's going to happen. You won't even play second fiddle. You'll be the one who does the cleanup. You will serve in that capacity. If you become engaged with a single mother who has previously shown bad judgment, her priorities in life will be such that you will fall far behind. A man can never be good enough for a single mom. Therefore, expecting anything or engaging in any kind of emotional contact with a single mother is simply not going to happen. You shouldn't really expect anything different, but you will likely experience a lot of aggravation, manipulation, and trouble. Nothing more can be expected from them. Also, the fact that she will likely have financial difficulties is the third reason to avoid getting close to single mothers. She's going to make bad decisions in life. She won't give a damn about anyone else in her life, and she'll struggle financially. When it comes to money, it's all about control and discipline. If you can exercise those two traits, you can also become wealthy. However, no matter how much money you make, if you can't perform those two things in that sequence, you'll lose the money that you have. It won't ever be enough. A single mother has essentially lost sight of the bigger picture. She was unable to see the whole picture. She had a kid with someone, but she is unable to nurture it, support it, care for it, or offer it a better life because of her relationship. I believe society has to do a bit more to educate them and assist them in preventing situations where they end up depending on other people. What I'm trying to say is that if you look at the past of someone's life, you'll start to notice patterns. If a person has a habit of mazing out their credit cards and failing to pay up on time, there's a good chance that he will do it again. If a person has failed to pay their debts to the bank, they're likely to do it again. Similarly, if a woman has a bad financial history, she doesn't save, spends extravagantly, and expects other people to pay for her lifestyle, there's a 100% chance she's going to do it again. So, look at a single mother's financial history, and you'll probably end up learning how she's going to handle your finances in the future and empty your wallet. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.